Hey, Shalom. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, double honor to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to all you brothers out there doing the work of sincerity and truth, striving for the hopeful elect, enduring all afflictions and seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling. This is Yahweh Batazah. I just want to just make a, I'm going to quote scriptures, roughly paraphrasing them and stuff like that, regarding this incident that happened with the brother that was out on the highways and the byways by himself when he encountered this individual that pulled that thing out on him. And ultimately, he had to do what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? He used proper discretion. He tried to de escalate the situation as he was instructed according to the scriptures. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but that Edomite wasn't having that. You know what I'm saying? Because when people are on that time, when they have that upper hand on you or whatever, there's no, their fury and that fire in them is just like it's boiling over. So you gotta be calculated. You gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Like not to be a crash dummy, but the brother, I believe he handled the situation the best way he could. Um, he was not going off at all. I haven't heard any brothers, elders say that, but just giving sound wisdom to brothers out there that are by themselves, or even if you're with a bunch of brothers, don't let this, and this is my words of advice, my exhortation, admonishment to brothers is that don't let this influence you into uh letting this be your first response to someone's, aggressive reaction towards the word being spoken to them because you're rebuking them. Always utilize discretion and strategize and calculate, analyze everything that's going on around you. Utilize all that. You have to use the full faculties of your mind. And sometimes it's easier said than done. Trust me. I'm I'm not the one to say that I've handled every situation the best. No, but and through my years of being on this earth and in the truth and what Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has uh open and given to me to understand on how to deal with other spirits, it's I've seen the work, I've seen the power and the instructions and the guidance of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and me holding, uh, restraining myself, not being so emotional. But every situation is different. Everything is different. You got that's why I said, um, not just me, the spirit tells you got to use discretion, and it just, it's funny. I mean, it's scriptures that brothers always bring out. It's always lessons that brothers always bring out to brothers because you never know whether you're at work, how you deal with the boss, co-workers, your family, you're in relationships. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So you have to use discretion. So I wanted to just speak about this real quick about this brother dealing with that Edomite there, wherever he's from. But I had made um a video right here like what 6 days ago. It says with agree with the adversary, utilize discretion quickly. Okay, so that's not always gonna work. As we all saw, the brother, he had to do what he had to do, and it still didn't even work. That's why the Lord's gonna have to kill a lot of you motherfuckers because you don't, an ass whooping's not enough. Those demons, that pride, that carnal state of mind, that flesh, that ego, that narcissistic BS is at a all high time. Like it's ridiculous. Not even an ass whooping will work anymore. That's why the Lord has to use destruction, thermonuclear destruction to straighten out that spirit. That's the only way. So um yeah, you have to agree with the adversary, like the scriptures say, soft words turneth away wrath. But in the book of Romans, I believe um it says to be at peace with all men as much as lieth in you. So there's gonna come points you're not gonna have no tolerance with these people. So that you're gonna rebuke them, you're gonna, or you may have to choose the discretion and remain in silent. I've done that. I've remained silent on certain people, ignored them, and just kept reading. Read with the loud voice, powerful voice, stay focused, stay in tune with the spirit, and let these gnats, these little fruit flies, wither away. Let them fly away. They will eventually. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to direct your attention towards them and rebuke them, and always remain in the scriptures. Keep bringing scriptures out because we know that the scriptures is our defense. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai comes written in the volume of a book. So these words are his spirit. These are our power. So they are going to pierce these individuals. These are going to cut and slice these people. All right. But there's certain situations where, like this one, there's just no avoiding it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the brother had to do what he had to do, and nobody's saying anything about it. I'm just saying, like, there's I guess there's people out there outside of what we understand and believe as the truth and the spirit and how to, they don't know. They think we're crash dummies, we're fuck ups, whatever. But we're not. We're people that are striving, that we're trying, we're doing our best, not for the world but for ourselves, our family, our sanity, for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the brothers, things of that nature. Okay, not for the production and the furthering of this world, of this kingdom. Hell no. Okay, so um, what was I saying? So yeah, the brother he did exactly what he had to do. That was like to me, I saw it like his last resort. You know what I mean? And uh, and like I said, there's times where you're not, and when I hear a lot of brothers, like, well, not a lot of brothers, but there's certain brothers are saying like, you know, you gotta be careful. Like, when you're on the highways and the byways, you're when I first came in to preach and I was learning, one thing I would always hear is we're in the face of the elements, man. We're in every aspect putting ourselves into danger. That's why the Lord said, present your body as a living sacrifice. We're in every element's, danger zone. Okay. And these people out there, like there's tons of people that are going through, seeing brothers on the highways and the byways. No, we don't know who all these people are coming from or who they are. Or, people coming from different states, cities. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? So there's only so much you can do. When the Lord is ready to take you, He's gonna take you. And the one example that I know is Stephen that brothers are mentioning, which his name means crown or to be crowned. Um, he didn't fight, he didn't do any of that. He just gave his testimony, and then they killed him. But from what I understand is that he was already taken. He saw the heavens open, so he was already taken. He didn't feel nothing, you know. So the whether you want to call it a judgment or not, to me, I don't see that as a judgment. I see that as that it was the Lord calling you. It was, yes, it was a judgment in the sense that um the Lord made the decision to finally take you in that particular incident, but that doesn't mean that the Lord like took you out because you were, messing up or you're wicked. Because there's brothers are gonna die in the truth. We talk about it. We talked about it, or I talked about it in the past a lot of times. Brothers still continue talking about it that, you know, the devil or the Satan's gonna put you in prison for 10 days and try you. So I mean, their brothers are gonna die. No matter what you do, no matter how you go about it. If it's your time, it's your time, and the scriptures say, "Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee." The Lord has all the examples where He showed us that He delivered the men of the Lord out of certain perilous and messed up situations, and like Daniel out of the mouth of the lion. You know, uh, Samson when he went to war with all the Philistines, and ultimately they captured him, but the Lord granted him strength one more time before He took everybody out, including himself. I mean, there's a bunch of incidences with the men of the Lord where they were delivered and where they had to their time was to come. They had to go. You know. Um, but yeah, I mean, you gotta use good judgment when you're dealing with these people. You know, I don't know how long that brother's been putting in the work, doing the work, but as the brothers have gone on through 10 years, 15 years, from what I would see, brothers were like kind of like toning it down and just speaking into the camera, not speaking directly to people. So that brother probably needs to um follow the blueprint and what brothers are on right now, and kind of school them, because we all were there when we were lifting our voice up like a trumpet and cussing people out and pointing at people and but things had changed. So brothers started like just speaking directly into the camera and teaching, not so much, you know, making it in that kind of sense, targeting individuals. But even if like the brother said, the shoe fits, you're gonna wear it. So no matter what you say, if somebody hears it in their ear, they find it offensive, they're gonna feel a type of way, because they don't like what you're saying, even though it's not directly towards them individually. Because like even back then, when I was going out, I was well in the very early stages it was like that, and then after a while I started to understand, like, you know what, got to make it. It has to be generalized. I was still a baby, still am, but I was even more of a baby back then when I first started going out. And I started to understand that, you know wisdom is out in the chief place of concourse, but that's in a generalization, and you got to just you know speak the truth, in different aspects, and try not to make it so much like it's you're targeting an individual or a group of people in like within your city, because we are talking about groups of nations, individual nations, and they don't understand that. So sometimes it's all about discretion. Whatever the spirit allows and whatever it wants, it's going to happen. Sometimes it's peaceable, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's going to be a verbal assault, verbal argument, a confrontation like that, in that sense, verbal, you know. But also another thing that I've learned too is that one of the most powerful thing that you can do is disarm your enemy. Is That's like true power is without fighting. So you got to learn how to talk to these spirits. You know, um, I've I've seen brothers do it. I've done it. It's just certain things I don't know. I can't really explain. I just know it's the spirit and the power of the Lord that is capable of allowing that to happen, where you're able to control the conversation. You're able to get into their mind and to, it's not to manipulate, but it's a spiritual battle. So you have to utilize the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you know, and 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 contend for the faith unto death. Strive for the truth unto death. Contend for the faith. Always do that. But at the same time, you got to utilize discretion immediately on what you should do. Don't just react. Think about what you're about to do. Okay. Um, Hang on, Salaki. Yeah, I'm seeing brothers, like especially what I had on the elder Malcolm out there in Chicago. I guess the brother. He's a jujitsu instructor. He trains in jujitsu, which is good. It's very good. Um, so yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Like you just gotta like that should always be our last resort. That's one thing that I also learned is when you become physical confrontation should always be a last resort. That's why the Lord has those scriptures there that our weapons of warfare are not carnal. We're not trying to show how fast we can punch or how many combos we can hit, or knocking somebody out or choking somebody out. No, it's through the scriptures. That's what we're doing. That's how the Lord wants it to be done. But so in cases that has to get it will be like that. You will have to fight. You have to protect yourself. It all depends. Now, if you're apprehended by a bunch of police, right? Like Roman centurions, you ain't gonna be able to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like you are in a losing situation, and you just prepare yourself and hope through the Lord miraculously He's gonna deliver you out of that situation. But more or less, you're gonna be kept in prison, or you're gonna be, taken out. Just like we all have the scriptures as examples of certain individuals that were that way. You know, they they remained in jail, prison, whatever they called it, and or they died, they were killed there, or they were hunted and killed. I mean, it just you know, but when you're in these kind of little situations and somebody's all up in your shit like that, like and then pulling out a gun, man, I would have been scared of them. I ain't gonna lie, you know. Uh, but the brother did, he handled that situation very well. You know, Lord willing, he learns from it and not tries to do that again. Instead, continue to remain in the spirit and utilize, you know, as the scripture has said, the soft answer turneth away wrath, and just keep it in the spirit of edification. All right. Um, but I don't know, you know what I'm saying? If this whatever brother, decides to hear this video and all the other brothers and elders that are bringing out scriptures, it's all one body and it's to edify and to build up brothers. But always use proper discretion, okay? Because you're out there by yourself, and nobody can really tell you what to do, but we can give advice, admonishment to one another on how to deal with situations to keep that spirit flowing within our minds to know, okay, well, the brother said this, brother said that, da, 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 da. And then, as you grow, you start become more skillful in dealing with spirits. All right. And then like the brother, I guess he looked like he was at a park. Man, over here where I'm from in the park, there's nothing but bombs. There's bombs out there, talking shit, you know, bitter, you know, whatever they got going on, but that's not a good place to be out there, man. Like the brothers are hearing them say that you go to an area where there's people, as far as like, and that has the commerce going on, there's transactions and shopping going on, and go in an area like that. I mean, anything can happen in any place, whether it's isolated, secluded, or the open, you know, area as a shopping center. Anything can pop off, you know what I'm saying? So just, you know, any brother out there that's been by is out there by themselves, like, you know, I used to be out here by myself. I had another brother out here by, we're by ourselves, just two going strong, you know, tearing down the strongholds and all the vain imaginations that rose up against the truth, and we're putting things, you know what I'm saying? Like we handled it, and the Lord knows, like Lord willing, we handled these things in a well manner. You know what I'm saying? And luckily me and the brother never got hurt, even though we were put in certain situations and we had our own, we have our own stories and things of that nature where but I could say honestly and here to this very day, right now, is that me and that brother ain't never got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody hurt us. People tried to, or they threatened and tried to intimidate, but the Lord would never allow it. And and but there's incidences where the Lord might, you know what I'm saying? But that won't mean that you were not of the truth. You know, it's something that's gonna happen. And brothers, be ready, you know what I'm saying? Like be ready for to hear things happen more, because these people are crazy. This and we're the time that we're in and that we've been coming into from the past 10, 15, going on 20 years, 17, 20 years. I came into the truth whenever I was what year? It was 2008. I started listening and learning, and then 2009 I finally went out. So I've seen a big change in the people, and the wickedness in the earth is is saturated in these people to like an unprecedented level. You know what I'm saying? Like it's everywhere. It's not just here and there. This is a pandemic. This is everywhere. The violence, the sexual immortality, the you know adultery, godlessness. all that stuff, man. Atheism, pedophiles, lesbianism, homosexuality, abortions, drugs, um, Satanism, self worship. All that is at an all time high, man. All of it, killing, the blood being spilled, babies are being killed, mothers are killing their babies. So much that's going on, man. Like it, but we know that the Lord said when we see all these things, we see all these things coming to pass with the nation rising against nation, pestilence in diverse places, earthquakes in diverse places. All these things that we're hearing, we know that the time is close. All right. And we already know that the gospel is going to be reached to the four corners of the earth and the end shall come. So the gospel is already out. The good news, letting you Negro Latinos and Native American Indians know that you're the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. The Lord already knows, man. I mean, this gospel's already out. It's just waiting. But the Lord is he's precise. He's calculated. So he knows what he's doing and he knows and who he's waiting for. He's waiting for his elect. That's who he's waiting for. Okay. So, like brothers keep doing, they keep saying with urgency and exhortation, repent, man. Like get your shit together. And I don't just say that because of things that I know, but I'm also utilizing that knowledge and information to myself and setting my house in order, my mind, and repenting to the most high, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, he'll forgive me and have mercy on me. Okay. But this things are gonna get worse, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's getting worse. We already see it, all the things that are going on with ICE, the immigration laws, and further, it's all tied in together. So with the whole medical field and COVID and all these different things, like it's all gonna be tied in. They're hitting every aspect, you know, and they want control. They want to control, and they want to take out the truth. They want to take out anybody that is not of their liking and or not gonna submit to who and what they say to be, then you know you're gonna be made an example. So brothers out there on the highways and the byways, utilize discretion, circumspect, be circumspect. You'll use discernment. When dealing with people, because trust me, when people start seeing this video, it's gonna influence them and give them courage to do it. Whether it be a brothers in camps to want to beat down, somebody that feels like they're being disrespected, or the imposter is gonna want to step. Okay, so just know that people when they see these types of videos, they're going to be influenced, and the sheep, the brothers that are in the camps, you know, don't be influenced to make this your first reaction, because then you will be going off and you're gonna put the rest of the flock in danger, and or like other people that I guess fell out, they've committed certain crimes and that they're on the news or in their city or town, and they're giving bad names, reps to about the Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, you know, and that's not what brothers on the highways and the byways, especially sincere brothers, the Akim, they're not about that. Okay. But so don't let the devil use this against you. Remain in spiritual in the spirit, utilize discretion, discernment, be vigilant, because like as the devil is a roaring lion is seeking whom he may destroy. Okay. So whether that brother triumphed over his enemy, it's not over. You know what I'm saying? So um remain spiritual. So I just wanted to speak on that. Salakia for not bringing scriptures out like I usually do, but I just wanted to speak on that thing, and yeah. So agree with that adversary, all right, and utilize discretion quickly. Okay. So with that, shalom.